Welcome to this special edition of Reserved for You. I am Miss Gina. Welcome into my space. So, the reason why I say special episode is because I want to continue a conversation that I kind of started online unintentionally. So, last week or so, I shared a very vulnerable video about myself, and I got a lot of feedback on that. And I want to dive into it a little bit, kind of share my story and a little bit about me and what was, what is, and what I hope to be. When I shared that last week about grieving the life that I thought I would have had by now, it was really a aha moment. Not that anything is wrong right now in my life, but I was just reflecting back over the past few months, last year, the year before, kind of getting a feel for what is going on in my life right now. What should I be giving my attention to, if you will? Like, what is it that God is showing me or trying to tell me that isn't quite clear? And then I thought about it. I just started thinking back about being married and being divorced, not having my own family, where I thought I would be career-wise, things that I started in the past that I didn't continue with, whether it was being afraid of the dream, lacking resources, or didn't know how to continue. And a lot has happened in between all of this. So I kind of want to share a little bit. And of course, if you relate to this, please feel free to share, to comment, to like, subscribe, because I look forward to having conversations like this with all of you and to have some of you on to share your experiences. So let's get into it. So if you're anything like me, when you're younger, you kind of picture this life, whether you're influenced by television or a family member or someone that you admire from afar off, you start putting pieces together, this puzzle of what it is that you inspire to do. Or perhaps God really has placed, well, I wouldn't say really has placed, He has placed a dream inside of you. And along the way, to have the right people in place to help cultivate those gifts and talents that you have to help bring that dream into fruition. So I didn't know how to dream, right? I didn't know how to find people that could plug in to me or I can plug into them. See, when I was young, I didn't know anything about mentors or mentorship. Didn't know anything about that until I got older. So I did a lot of daydreaming, if you will. And of course, I always thought that I would have been married, the whole American dream, married, white picket fence, 2 kids and a dog, right? That was me. That was absolutely me. I did not foresee, what actually came to be, but we'll get into that later. I thought by a certain age, I would be more settled, marriage, the physicality, you name it. I honestly believed that. I did. And there's nothing wrong with that. Let me just say this. There are certain people that grew up having a dream, an aspiration of becoming someone, and they followed that path and they became who they dreamed of. And truth be told, there was a time and place in my life where I even envied that. You know what? Let me just put it like this. If we can be honest, if we can be candid, I think everybody has been in a position where they have envied something. And I know envy is a negative connotation, so I don't mean it in the sense of lusting after something someone has or coveting after something someone has, but just that glare in your eye where you go, wow, I want to do that. I want to have that. I want to be that. That's what I mean by envied. And as a young person, a kid, a young adult, I didn't know any better because I didn't know how to be in pursuit of those things. I thought that I was, supposed to graduate high school, did, go off to college, did, get a good job, still debatable, and get married, have a family, and you live your life until you go to heaven. I know, but we're just talking about it, okay? Now let's be clear. When you're young, 50 sounds ancient. Oh my God. Now I have surpassed my 40s and I have become the 50 plus woman that I used to think was so ancient. And now that I'm here, I'm like, wait a minute. I got stuff to do. There are things that I still want to do. There is still enough room for me to become. Like, my dreams and aspirations, they are so prevalent now. I am so okay with pursuing to see where it goes, even if it just builds something in me, right? If it just builds that tenacity in me, if it's learning something and I get to pay it forward with someone else that can take what I've learned and plug it into them, and maybe it's meant for them to go further, faster with it. All I know is that second win where you kind of feel like you've gotten your grit back. That's where I am. And I walk in so much gratitude. Like, when I tell people the key to success as you know it, I'm not talking about the definition of success. I'm not talking about monetary. I'm not talking about property and possessions. While there is nothing wrong with that, but I'm talking about the type of success that gratitude brings, that you're grateful. Like, I'm grateful that I even desire to still dream. Do you feel what I'm saying? Like, to still dream, to still hope, to still learn. That's where I am. When I was much younger, in my 20s, I had gotten married in my 20s. I think I was 23. In the following month, I was turning 24. So I really felt like at that time I was ready for marriage. I believed in the sanctity of marriage. I believe in the power of marriage. I believe in the blessings that come along with being married. Like, I knew that I wanted to be married. And I had believed at that time, although there were so many things in place that were screaming, wait, pause, hold on, just wait it out. But I didn't know any better. And I'm okay with that. Because just because I was younger, it doesn't mean that you still can't have a successful marriage because you get married young. It absolutely matters who you marry and if you're marrying in the right season. I always wondered what it would be like to have a little me running around. And at the time when I got married, my then husband decided to re-enlist back into the military. So at that point in time, I was uprooted from everything that I knew to be home in Bradenton, Florida, and we whisked off into life and settled in San Diego, California. And I literally call that was my wilderness. That's what I call it that time, my wilderness season. I was away from family, I knew absolutely no one. Now, I eventually met other people and I began to build relationships that I still have to this day. But at that time, I could not see my way through to the promised land, like getting on the other side of all of the things that I was going through at that young age. What did I think I would have figured out now that I am here? I really thought that I would be at the top of my game career-wise. I I saw success, as I talked about earlier, in many aspects. I always believed in building people up. So I always felt like I would be in a leadership position, I would have a team, and I always carried this vision of being able to pour into people and they move on and they cultivate that same culture within themselves of being a thought leader, a catalyst for change, and that they will pour into others and send them on their way, and there will be this trickle effect of good, strong, solid, godly leaders in the earth. So believe it or not, I thought that I would have been in the C-suites, not based on stature or how I look or how articulate I am or things of that nature. I just believe that I carried those qualities on the inside. And at the same time, I had my insecurities about the way that I look, the way that I sound. And once I started focusing on the insecurities of where I thought I would have been right now, I would say that played a huge part of why I did not. Yeah. And what I think that as a matter of fact, I don't think anyone can really prepare you for the grievance that's going to happen, that may happen, I should say, when you long for something or you miss something that never really took place. It's not like you had it and then you lost it. It's it never came into fruition, but you kept seeing it, you felt it, you desired it, and it never came to be. And I don't think that is something that someone can truly prepare you for. But what I do think will help people along the way is talking about it with someone. Talk about it with someone that's older than you and that has a little bit more life experience than you, and asking them if they are fulfilling the goals and dreams that they had when they were much younger. And if their answer is no, ask them, how did they weather through that? Now, two things will probably happen. Either they're going to have an aha moment because they didn't realize that they grieved that season of their lives, that they just dealt with it, or perhaps, they will be able to explain how they pivot. Because some things not working out still lead you to where you belong. I absolutely believe that had it not been for the things that didn't go the way that I expected, I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking to you today. Some of what I would deem as losses or hard seasons of my life, had those things not happened, I probably would not have learned courage the way that I did. And I'll tell you this, there has been twice where I felt like I had hit rock bottom, where I lost everything. I mean, everything, even down to my dog. When I had to give my dog away, that's when I felt like, okay, you have absolutely hit rock bottom, because now you have nothing. You have nothing but the clothes on your back and clothes in these bags. But I also realized, losing everything, I was like, there's no other direction to go but up, because I'm already as low as I can get. I was already as low as I could get at that time. So I had to make a decision. I had to identify something. I had to focus on something. And that's when I realized there is no other direction to go but up. I didn't know how long it was going to take to get up. I didn't know where up was going to lead to. I didn't know what was on the other side of where I was at that time. But what I did have was hope. I believed God. I believed his word. Even though I couldn't see my way out of a paper bag at that time, I simply believed. And while you are grieving this life or process of what you thought you would have done by now, or the person that you were hoping to become, it doesn't mean that you're not grateful. Because I can tell you that out of all the things that did not turn out the way that I had hoped, the things that did happen, the doors that God did open, the way that God did make, the people that he connected me to, priceless. So very grateful. So very grateful. But that does not mean that I don't have an emotional attachment to the things that I desired or that I hoped for when I was younger. The things that didn't work out, the failed marriages, the not having my own family, not being able to have things that other people have, or that I thought would be, part of my bag. You know what I'm saying? But that's real talk. I'm just being honest. I'm just saying the quiet thing out loud. So at 52, I did not anticipate that I would be single by myself, going through life, trying to figure things out. I mean, of course, don't get me wrong. I know I'm not alone. I have the greatest source. I have the greatest source in all the world, in the heavens and earth. I have Christ. So me saying that does not make him void. I just mean, in this realm, I I did not anticipate that I would have to start over again and build up. And let me tell you something. It's hard when you're looking at people around you and it just appears that everything they touch flourishes. You don't know. I don't know. We do not know the hell and high water that they have had to go through. I tell people that all the time. It is easy for me to celebrate someone and their success, because if I sat and I heard their story, if I sat and I heard the ways in which they had to maneuver, the hard knocks, the lesson learned, the poor decisions, all the things, I would just probably be like, Because I'm not just sitting around waiting for real life to kick in. No, absolutely not. Here's the real. Some things just didn't happen. Some things fell apart. Some things I just simply changed my mind about. Like, I don't want to do that. And if I'm honest, and I am, there are just some things that I ain't just got to have. And I'm okay with that. And I don't need to feel like I need to be in a certain place, have a certain status to feel validated. I am not seeking validation. Now, let me just clear something. I am seeking purpose. Everybody, or maybe I shouldn't say everybody, but for the most part, everyone wants to know that they're aligned with their purpose. And you want to know that you're making impact. That I absolutely desire. I want to know that I am making impact. I want to know that I am walking in alignment, and along the way that I am able to help and assist and build up and edify and push people along. I absolutely desire that. It feels good to me to know that you feel good, that you feel seen, you feel heard. Can I solve the world's problems today? No, absolutely not. But what I can do while we're in this space together is that you don't feel like you're walking by yourself. That we get to do life together. However, you must be a willing participant. I must be a willing participant. And sometimes when we don't know that a season has come to an end, or a thing that we once desired is over, and we need to welcome new spaces for vision and dreams. But sometimes you will find yourself longing to hold on to what's familiar, that you may miss the opportunity that's right in front of you. That's going to take you further than what you dreamed. That's going to take you further than what you hoped for. That's going to take your mind places, and you learn things and be connected way beyond the things that you hoped for. I am absolutely learning that today. Because if you're not careful with moving on and seeing the other spaces where you can grow and become, listen, let me tell you something. People can become very comfortable with your growth when your growth benefits them. Huh? You say it again for the people in the back? Okay. Mm-hmm. People can be very comfortable with your growth when your growth benefits them. Now, I do believe that you can still excel, be promoted, have a profitable business, make a lot of money, all the things that feel good, look good, and not have any passion for it anymore. And even if that's not the case, put boundaries around what you have been able to cultivate and grow. You put boundaries on it that it's okay to say no. Even if you used to do something year after year after year, and then now it's time to do it again, and this time you don't want to participate. And someone says, but you used to do it every year. And I'm so grateful for that time. But this year, I want to do something new. I want to do something different. It's nothing personal. It's okay to change people's access to you, as long as it's healthy, as long as it benefits actually both of you. But more so, this is about you. Or in my case, in thinking about where I am in life, it is about me. All I can say, because of my life's lessons, don't allow the evolution of you become convenient for someone else. I'm going to let that sink in. Now, I'm not sitting here as someone who has it all figured out. Far from the truth. I am actually in this thing. I am in this thing so deep, which is why I guess I could be more candid than what I probably would have been, because this space was already reserved for me to be in it. I'm learning a different version of myself and embracing where I am, even the uncomfortable things. And baby, let me tell you, it is some things that are very uncomfortable. And I'm not trying to figure it all out. Some days I feel like I'm getting myself together, and some days I'm like, no lie. And sometimes sitting with who I am now, it's uncomfortable. Dealing with who I am now, 52, perimenopausal, body making changes, can't sleep, brain fog, body aches, weight gain, tired, don't want to go nowhere, want to be everywhere. All the things that are contrary to what I'm building. So now I want to dig into the fun part, the becoming, the unknown, the risk, the having fun with it along the way. So I do hope as I share more of these solo episodes that I have the opportunity of sharing a lot more about myself and who I'm hoping to evolve into become. So no, I don't have a 5-part series of how to reinvent yourself after 50. So no, don't worry about that. Listen, if you have it, send it to me. So no, I don't have anything like that to offer. I'm not even thinking on that level. Okay. So clearly I don't have 5 steps for you. I'm still trying to figure out step number 2 for me. So you come on over here. We're going to do life together and figure it out. Okay. So I wrote some questions down that I want to answer for you all. So hopefully you're still watching. That not only is it going to be insightful to myself, because I have not answered these questions, I just jotted down what came across my mind so that way I could share it in this conversation with all of you. Okay. What am I doing now that the younger Gina might be surprised about? I would probably have to say learning technology in a way that I'm learning it. Believe it or not, and I don't think I'm a tech person by any means, but I absolutely love figuring this out. I love editing and just learning how to piece things together. Sometimes I am baffled that my brain works in the way that it does at times, because I would be like, oh, who about to learn that? People are surprised when I say that I have attributes of shyness about me. I am, because I would like to think that I'm a behind the scenes type of girl, but being here in this space where you all see me and in a vulnerable space, and I've been just filling my apartment with my voice, talking to all of you, I did not see that coming. Now, I guess I will say this, and maybe this is a part of the dream that I had when I was younger, the 20 something or the teenage 20 something, early 30 something me. I did think that I would be on stages everywhere speaking. I did, because I always felt like I had the personality for it. But at the same time, no sooner than I would have that thought in my mind did the intrusive thoughts of, girl, don't nobody want to hear you talk. Don't nobody want to see you. ... What am I trying that I don't know is even going to work? This, building this brand, this community, doing this podcast, which is a component of Reserved for You. Just the thought of sitting here doing this, putting it together, building this framework piece by piece. This would probably be one of the things in my present time that I'm like, you know what? I am just simply going to go for it. And I have absolutely no idea how this is going to turn out. What have I stopped giving permission to? I have stopped giving permission to waiting to see who's going to show up. I don't, you know what, to be honest with you, I do know what it feels like to do something and you wonder who's going to be a part of it. I that's a fair assessment or feeling that anyone should have. If you're hosting an event, you can't have a successful event if there are not bodies in the place. You can't create an experience if there's no one there to partake of it, right? Because I've been on both sides of that. So the next question is, what dream have I resurrected? I would say I really thought that I was done with bringing people together. The thing that I love the most in building community, and I'll never forget, Dr. Shillette told me this one time when I was hosting one of my events, and she said, "You are a gatherer." She said, "You are a gatherer." And I have never, ever forgotten that she told me that. And I own that. I own that in such a proud way, because she was able to see something in me that I had not identified myself. So being back in this space where I'm building community, I'm connecting with other women because I'm in a different season and space. I've always been intentional, but now I'm even more intentional because it's unfamiliar, but it's purposeful. And I feel like, okay, I am on a mission. I don't know what the full mission is. So I thank God that He's given it to me piece by piece, so I won't be overwhelmed, so I won't dismantle it with intrusive thoughts and insecurities. So He's building my confidence and courage along the way. And I'm grateful for that. Ooh, what scares me a little bit? It flopping. That scares me a lot of bit. I would say, in all honesty, what scares me a little bit is it feeling so new. And I don't want to abort the mission because it may feel or look like it's not moving. It may feel or look like it doesn't have any traction. I've been sitting on this for far too long. And not only this, like there is something else that I started building and creating that is a really great product. And I allowed a moment that crushed me, and I never went back to pick it up. And now, because I have to revisit that emotion or those emotions so I can heal from it, so that I can go back to doing what it was that I had set out to do, that I had been working so hard behind the scene, testing and testing and testing, and investment of money, like a closet full of supplies and boxes, because I have a dream. I see it. I see it being profitable. And I let a moment that pulled me in that I wasn't expecting caused me to put a halt to it. But I did that because I didn't set up boundaries. But I'm better now. Well, now this question is, what are you finally admitting to wanting? Now, this has nothing to do with everything that I've been sharing, but I really am ready to settle into a relationship with someone. I I desire to have someone in this space with me that I could learn from and that they can learn from me. We can build together. Someone that is just as optimistic and hopeful and walking by faith and prayerful as I am. Someone that has put in the work to be healed of the things that they've gone through in the past or forgiven of their own transgressions, that they have turned all that over to God. So I admit, because now that's a part of my life I do not open up and just share publicly because it ain't nobody business. But but because this space was already reserved for me, it is already protected. I'm good. I'm good with what I share because I have control over what I share. And I am open to meeting him. Yes, sir. So reserved for you is all, well, first of all, let me say this. I have said this before. I realized that I had to walk in this space of reserve for you. I had to own it, not own it as in intellectual property, but own it, embody it, like recognize that, okay, Gina, this space that you're in, it's been on hold for you. It's been waiting for you. And now you have showed up and you've taken residence of it. And now you got to navigate it. Because there are other women out there that feel like they're out of place, or what they desire to do is so far off, or they need to learn how to pivot, embrace pivoting, embrace where the things are uncomfortable. And that's what reserved for you is for. And I can't wait. I'm being patient, but I can't wait to open it up in its fullness. I can't wait for the first event to bring everyone in collectively and share in this experience, because it's coming and is. I chose my birthday to launch Reserved for You podcast at 52. Not when it was perfect. I started working on this earlier this year, and then I had some setbacks, some things that I was going through. Then I got a dog. You all know. Shout out to Prince. And so I kept talking about it and talking about it and talking about it. And I wasn't progressing, nor was there any progression in the things that I was talking about. And so back in June, it just fell on me like, when are you going to get out of talking about it? So before I even allowed myself to have those intrusive thoughts of every reason why I shouldn't, because of this and that and the how-tos, certain things just started falling into place that took away the excuse. So yeah, at 52, I am doing something new. But is it really new? Is it really new though? Or did I just come into one with it that has been there all along? So no, I'm not waiting for a viral moment. No, I'm not waiting to blow up on social media or become the go-to person for this, that, and the third. If you know me, you know that ain't even how I vibe. Do I hope to reach masses? Absolutely. That would be so much fun. I wish that I can have a Reserve for You event in cities all across, and women are coming out to own their space. Hold on now. So yes, at 52, I'm learning YouTube, editing, reels, stories, watching analytics. And on top of that, who's trying to keep up with all these passwords? All y'all getting the same password. Okay. If you know, you know. I'm not going through some big exodus where I am erasing the woman I was a year ago or 5 years ago or 10 years ago. No, I'm taking her with me because of her, the lessons, the failed attempts, the poor decisions that I made. I'm bringing her along. I'm bringing her with me because she didn't get everything wrong. She got some things right. I still need her. I still need that part of me. Because of her, it got me here. So she can come along for the journey. But the person that I am becoming right now, a little bit more bold, feeling more courageous, more confident, even in my imperfections, even with things changing, even with more fine lines. So I'm not trying to get back to an old version of me. And I know sometimes with life changes, people want to hold on to certain parts of who they used to be, the younger versions of themselves. And not to say that it's not a pivotal part of my story and my life, but I'm not trying to get back to the 25-year-old me or the 35-year-old me. No. I want to meet the version of me that is seeing this all the way out by the grace of God. I want to meet the version of me that will say then, girl, you didn't quit. When it was tough, when the analytics didn't flow well, when the editing looked choppy, when you had to do it sitting in your living room, when you have to put up your softbox lights and your cameras up, your windows are up so you don't know who's watching from the outside, all the things. All the things. So this is for you. Maybe your life doesn't look like what you pictured it to be either. Maybe there are things and places where you thought you would be by now. And maybe you find yourself looking and contrasting the two between who you wanted to be and the person you are now. But what if you need to look at things a little differently? Maybe you need to ask questions in a different manner, versus why didn't I become X, Y, and Z, to who should I be becoming now? Who am I now? Because by the grace of God, we are still here. We're still growing, learning. There is always opportunity around. You may not see it, and you may not even feel like there is opportunities around. There is, because you have the power to create. We have the power to create. You don't see it, build it. This is reserved for you with Miss Gina, a space where we get to talk about life as it really is and who we're becoming along the way. Until next time.